Good evening and welcome to the show. What a team win for the Eagles, their first ever, believe it or not, against the Cincinnati Bengals. After a rough start on both sides of the ball, the Birds seemed to flip a switch and posted their best game of the 2024 campaign. It's time for my breakdown. After a first possession drive of 10 plays covering 52 yards that led to a 39-yard Jake Elliott field goal and a 7-play drive that resulted in a punt, Jalen Hurts and the offense kicked things into overdrive, scoring on the next 7, that's right, I said 7 drives of the game. The offensive play calling looked nothing like it has in the past 6 weeks, resulting in the franchise quarterback looking the best he has in quite some time. Hurts looked sharp, decisive, and confident, going 16 for 20, 236 yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 3 rushing touchdowns, and a 132 rating. Kellen Moore called a game that allowed for the full complement of talents of this offense to be on display. Barkley had 22 carries for 108 yards, and Smith and Brown combined for 11 catches for 171 yards and 1 touchdown and a 45-yard beauty to Smith in the end zone. But the story of the day was Hurts putting together a game we've all been waiting to see. He hit comeback routes to Brown and Smith and middle-of-the-field throws with precision, timing, and accuracy. He found Grant Calcaterra in the flat for 20-plus yard gainers on multiple occasions and hit checkdowns when deeper routes failed to materialize. The mix of run and pass and the variety of play calls kept the Bengals defense off balance all day long. Hurts looked in total command of the offense and played with a certainty and command of the offense as he is finally grasping the reins. Kudos to the offensive line. Fred Johnson filled in at left tackle versus his old team and held one of the premier defensive ends, Trey Hendrickson, to 1 pressure on the day. Tyler Steen had his issues with a few penalties, but beyond that, he was solid as the entire unit all day. No sacks, no fumbles, no interceptions on the day, and as the offense posted 38 points, 21 of which were unanswered down the stretch of the second half. Defensively, after Joe Burrow and the Bengals started off the game with a 17-play, 70-yard touchdown drive, the defense tightened up. The young guns, Mitchell and DeJean, are getting better week after week and can be looked upon as part of the reason for the defensive turnaround. The Bengals seemed to plan their attack away from Mitchell, who, by the way, only gave up 1 catch on the day. DeJean had a huge stop tackling Jamar Chase short of the sticks on a 4th down play, which resulted in the 45-yard strike to Devontae Smith 3 offensive plays later. Versus an elite quarterback like Joe Burrow, you know he's going to make some plays. But Vic Fangio has to be given his props as well. The defense held Burrow below his season average of 250 yards per game passing, his TD total per game, and to a season-low 84.7 rating. Just as impressive was the Eagles' run defense. They held Cincy's rushing attack to 58 yards on 22 carries for an average of 2.9 yards per carry. Much like the offense, the defense seems to be finding their rhythm. Notables, Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean led the way in tackles with 12 and 9 respectively. They also combined on the first forced fumble and recovered fumble of the season. The interior 5 of Carter, Davis, Williams, Ajomo, and Booker jammed up the middle versus the run and pushed the pocket on pass plays, forcing Burrow to get the ball out quickly. The defensive ends and edge rushers were quiet on the day, but Nolan Smith is quietly starting to look like the guy the Birds drafted him to be. Isaiah Rodgers filled in nicely for an injured Darius Slay, teaming up with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for an interception. On the day, the Birds defense yielded 280 yards of total offense, had 3 turnovers, a forced fumble, a recovered fumble, an interception, and a huge turnover on down. Hats off to head coach Nick Sirianni, offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, and defensive coordinator Vic Fangio for having this Birds team ready to play, highly motivated, continuing to grow and mature, and progressing towards the type of consistency that will have them peaking at the right time of the season. That's my breakdown. After a quick pause, Eagles Hall of Famer and former Birds great Trey Thomas joins me to dive a bit deeper into the 3-game winning streak of the Birds.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them. Sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
Most people don't know how to get the care they need. The experts at Stay at Home Care can help. Before choosing a caregiver or family member for your care, you need to apply for the home care program. The application process can be complicated. Stay at Home Care can help you navigate through every step. Once approved, your caregiver or family member will receive guaranteed weekly pay, a variety of medical benefits options, paid holidays, paid vacation, and overtime pay. Call Stay at Home Care, here to help every step of the way.
I'm in that mode. Stick to the code. I'm in my zone. Let's go. I'm back in my bag. I'm wrecking the wins and it's making them.
You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
At Pond Lehocky Giordano, we understand the impact an injury can have on your life. Our experienced attorneys have recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we know we can do the same for you. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family-owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come, join our team.
This segment is brought to you by Pond Lehocky. Welcome back. A vet of 13 years, 11 with the Eagles, an Eagle Hall of Famer, a member of the Eagles' 75th anniversary team, and one of the brightest football minds that I know. Ladies and gentlemen, Trey Thomas is in the house. Trey, what's going on, brother?
All is well, my brother. You know, hey, we got 3 wins in a row, so it's all is good.
All right, so what's the most impressive thing about the Birds' turnaround since the bye week to you?
I think one of the most impressive things is just that you just continue to see the defense improve. You know, you're not seeing those drop-off games like you saw earlier in the season where you had a successful, game and then you saw them just fall off the map and then you have to try to build it up. And then I think on the offensive side of the ball, I think that, Jalen Hurts being able to take care of the ball, no turnovers. I think this was the first game that they had this year with 0 sacks. So that's one of the most impressive things that you've seen. And then also, man, they got rid of the tackle donut. One of the things that you were talking about a lot.
Well, I don't want to take credit for that, man. Listen, as a former offensive lineman, take us into the task of Jalen Hurts assuming the protection calls this year for the first time.
Well, I think that it helps just because it can work both ways. Because, you're still going to have the center that's going to direct the line, because he is the quarterback of the offensive line. But I think that when you say, all right, Jalen Hurts, you're going to go out there and you're going to make some of those calls, how that's going to help is that if he sees something that the center doesn't, then he can kind of redirect it. And, because you go back, I was out there in training camp in Kansas City, and I was able to watch Patrick Mahomes practice. And one of the things that he would do is he would say, okay, you know what, if I know that the blitz is coming from one side, I might want that pressure in my face because he has an outlet that he wants to hit. So maybe Jalen Hurts, they're trying to train him to that trajectory where he's saying, all right, you know what? I know that the blitz is coming. I have an answer to that side, so I want that pressure.
All right, now, I see Lane Johnson running down the field, pumping his fist, chasing Saquon when he's doing what he's doing. What does that do? Mm-hmm. What does the run game success do emotionally to an offensive lineman?
Well, it charges you because now you're able to just be aggressive. You can just come off the ball, get some combination blocks, and you create movement, and then now the running back just gets able to do what he does. I think that especially when you're talking about the run game now, you're operating in Coach Stoutland's wheelhouse. Someone that, he's had to evolve as someone to train pass protection. But when you're talking the run game and combination blocks, Coach Stoutland is one of the best in the game.
So now Nick Sirianni and Kellen Moore seem to have come to some kind of common ground on how this offense should flow. What's the difference about Jalen in this offense that you've seen over the last 3 weeks?
I think that they've made him work on some of the things that he's been uncomfortable with, because it's all the stuff that we've all talked about, and I know I've seen you talk about it as well, where he doesn't throw the ball across the middle, how all the numbers have always been him just throwing the balls outside the hash, just keeping the ball outside. But he's been working on, this coaching staff listens to everything that's being said on social media. The ears are tingling. So, you know what I'm saying? So they listen to everything you say. So whatever you complain about, they're going to make sure that they implement it into the game plan. If you complain about running, they're going to make sure that they give the ball to Saquon. If you complain about them not throwing the ball across the middle, then they're going to work on that. And I think that that's one of the things that Jalen Hurts has been doing, is that he's been working on what he's not comfortable with, and it's making him a better player.
Trey, Sunday's going to be a huge day. You got Doug P. coming back to town with his Jaguars. You got Shady McCoy going into the Eagles Hall of Fame. Congrats to him. This is another game that the Birds should win. Give me your keys to the victory.
I think that we just need to continue stacking these wins, stacking these performances. Defense, I think our secondary needs to continue to be aggressive. Jacksonville is going to be without two of their star receivers. So our secondary, this is a chance for our secondary to come up, be a lot more aggressive, to give that defensive front time to get home. And I think the linebacker play needs to continue to be aggressive. I think Nakobe Dean and Bo just needs to continue playing their style of football. And then on the offensive side of the ball, if we can protect Jalen Hurts and give him time to pick this defense apart, I think we'll be on the right track. And just run the ball, man. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you have 160-yard rushing, keep leaning on that, because it makes the passing game a lot easier.
And there you have it. My brother, it's always a pleasure talking ball with you. Great to catch up, and I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me, man.
Anytime, my brother. Good talking to you.
All right. When I come back, Brad Feinberg is here with his weekly betting and fantasy picks.
You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
This is Parks.
This is how you roll. This is how it goes. This is how you pop. This is how you rock. Take a chance, do a dance, little romance. This is how you. This is how you win. This is how you excite. This is how you all night. 360 hit me. Now we're going all in. I can feel it calling. The crowd, the light, the night, the sights, the vibe is right. This is how you. This is
Parks, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
And the next thing I knew, I woke up in a hospital bed.
Has a friend ever told you a story about an accident and someone says,
you should probably sue them?
Forget your friend. Call Pond Lehocky Giordano.
We're an injury law firm that's recovered billions of dollars for our clients.
And with our vast network of attorneys throughout the country, we know we can do the same for you.
So if you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
One conversation is all it takes, and you won't pay a dime until we win.
Get peace of mind, drive certified at DavisCertified.com.
How do you make sure your next vehicle purchase is a quality vehicle priced right? Go to DavisCertified.com.
Every Davis Certified pre-owned vehicle has a 60-day, 2,000-mile powertrain warranty, plus 2 years of free oil changes, a 3-day exchange policy, and a free Carfax report.
Get peace of mind, drive certified at DavisCertified.com.
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional-grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
This segment is brought to you by Bet Parks. Welcome back. Say hello to Brad Feinberg, my betting and fantasy in-house guru. Follow Brad at Brad's Best Bets on X. Brad, Jalen Hurts and the Birds climbed to 5-2 in impressive fashion. How you like them now?
Seth, you got to love it. That was Eagles' best performance all year. It was so great to see. Hurts was absolutely phenomenal. Tip my cap to him. And look, Seth, if you're being fair about it, in the NFC right now, obviously Detroit should be power ranked number one and maybe the best odds of going to the Super Bowl. But I would right now today, after week 8 of the NFL season, Seth, I would say the Eagles right now are the second best chance. And there you can get them at 7-1 odds to reach the Super Bowl, and actually did make that bet. But I also have Detroit as well.
Wow, what a difference a week make. All right, let's kick off week 9 with your top betting picks.
I'm going to start off with the Atlanta Falcons. They're laying 2.5 points against the Dallas Cowboys team to be set that is in utter turmoil. Dak Prescott looks like a mess. The defense looks like a mess. The coaching staff looks like a mess. Atlanta's not great, Seth, but at home, I think they win this game by at least a field goal. I really do. I'm going to stick with the hometown Eagles, Seth, laying 7 points at home against the Jaguars team that stinks. They absolutely stink. And not that he was a great player for them, but Christian Kirk was at least a rotation, legitimate starting player for them. He's out for the season. And I just believe, Seth, that this Jaguars team is just not good at all. I think the Eagles showed with their medal last week. I think this line should be at least 7.5, 8. 7, such a big number in the NFL. I'm taking the Eagles, Seth. I'm laying the 7 points. So hopefully we're going to have a good talk about it next week. Arizona Cardinals, Seth, going against the Chicago Bears. Arizona, huge win last week over Miami. Tough loss for Chicago. Now, Chicago got, in my opinion, severely outplayed last week. Forget the Hail Mary. They got lucky to even be leading that game. I think these teams are even team set, dead even in Mauer power ratings. At home, I thought Arizona should have been a slight favorite. We can get them in a pick. I say Arizona continues, make this a 2-game losing streak for the Bears. Take Arizona, pick them at home against the Chicago Bears. And last, Seth, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. Horrible performance last week, Seth. Atrocious against Buffalo. But they're at home against a Rams team that, look, big win, I get it, last week against the Minnesota Vikings. But at home, I thought Seattle, again, kind of reminds me of the Arizona game. I thought they should have been a tiny favorite at a pick or even +1. I like Seattle.
All right, Brad, on the fantasy side, who are your top picks as far as players are concerned and your top defense for this week?
Well, Seth, I'm going to start off. Even though I said I liked the Atlanta Falcons, which I do, but for fantasy, I like Dak Prescott. Why? He's not highly priced this week. He's very cheap. And all Dallas does, Seth, they pass, which maybe doesn't win you NFL games, but it can win you fantasy games when you're getting a lot of passing points and passing touchdowns because they can't run the ball at all. They have no running game to speak of at all. Atlanta's defense not that great. Give me Dak Prescott cheap. Running back-wise, Devin Achane of the Miami Dolphins. When Tua plays, this guy is a stud, Seth, an absolute stud. He averaged, I believe, 8 yards a carry last year. You heard me right, 8 yards a carry. And he gets a ton of receptions when Tua plays. Tua's back. I see no reason why he won't have a good game. He's not being priced in the top 15 running backs. Love Devin Achane. Receiver-wise, Chris Olave. This makes no sense to me. He's not being priced in the top 25. Derek Carr expected back, going against the Carolina Panthers defense. This is an incredible matchup. He should be one of the most expensive receivers, in my opinion, this week. Probably my favorite play of the week. Chris Olave, New Orleans Saints, very lowly priced. And defense-wise, Seth, I don't think they're good. Let me make this clear. But the New York Giants are the cheapest defense on the board by a mile. I know. But I think they're at least decent defensively. To me, their problems are more on the offensive side of the ball. Lets me get other good players by spending no money on my defense, even though, Seth, you're a defensive player. I hate to say that to you, but that's what I'm doing.
All right, Brad, and as we wrap, what players in defense are you fading for week 9?
Well, listen, it's hard to fade this guy because he's so freaking good, Seth, but I'm fading Lamar Jackson. Highest priced player, highest priced quarterback by a mile. Great player, MVP, 2-time MVP, maybe a 3-time MVP after this year. But against the Denver Broncos defense, certain ways to pay up for Lamar. This week, in my opinion, not one of them. Running back-wise, we're going to fade Javonte Williams of the Denver Broncos. He's being priced pretty high, and he's going against the Baltimore Ravens team set that was reminiscent of your great Eagles teams. You cannot run the ball on this Ravens team. To me, Williams doesn't have maybe 25, 30 yards. Definitely would not pay up for him at all. Receiver-wise, Terry McLaurin, I think he's a really good player, but he's being priced in the top 10 this week. And the Giants, again, they have not been bad defensively. They really haven't been. I think McLaurin's okay, but for top 10 receivers, there's a bunch of other guys I think are better values. And lastly, Seth, overrated. Look, Cincinnati Bengals, look, they're the second highest priced defense this week. We saw them last week against a very good Eagles offense get absolutely torched. I know the Raiders are not good on offense. I get it, but I am not paying up the second most price of any defense for a bad Cincinnati Bengals defense.
All right, Brad, great insights as always. Thanks for your time. Good luck this week. I'll see you next week. All right, my friend?
Appreciate you. Be good,
All right, there you go. Download the BetParx Casino app. Like me, you love to play. You play to win. You bet BetParx. Coming up, my closing thoughts and predictions versus Doug Peterson and his Jacksonville Jaguars.
At Pond Hockey, we're neither a pond nor a hockey team. In fact, I don't even know how to skate.
Cut.
We're the injury law firm that you want fighting for you.
With our vast network of attorneys across the country, we know the playbook on injury law.
It's how Pond Hockey recovered billions of dollars for more than 100,000 injured and disabled workers.
And we know we can do the same for you.
So give Pond Hockey a call. No other law firm will fight harder for you.
And you'll never pay a dime until we win.
You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
Pride, passion, and persistence. These are the values that drive us all at Ron Jaworski Golf. We strive to deliver outstanding conditions as well as playability for golfers of all ages and abilities. Our championship golf courses offer a variety of challenges, from a link-style walk along the river to an escape into the pines and everything in between. My team at Ron Jaworski Golf is committed to delivering memorable experiences every single day. See all we do at ronjaworskigolf.com.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them. Sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
Gentlemen, are you ready for a wardrobe update? Introducing Divine Nine's Custom Menswear, your clothier for truly unique, custom-made threads. With Divine Nine, you can design your own one-of-a-kind suit, jacket, slacks, shirts, golf pants, and shorts, perfectly handcrafted by our skilled artisans who will bring your vision to life. Prepare to stand out from the crowd with Divine Nine's Custom Clothier, official clothier of Seth Joyner. Custom clothing made for you.
This segment is brought to you by Verizon Communications. Welcome back. If you're like me, you've got to be excited about back-to-back-to-back Eagles wins. Now, I'm an eternal optimist, but I've been around the game long enough to proceed with a modicum of caution. But that being said, I feel like it's safe to err on the side of excitement here. This team has progressively gotten better each week since the bye. Most important, Jalen Hurts has step-by-step begun to look like the Jalen Hurts of old. Over the last 3 games, Jalen has been turnover-free, and while not spectacular statistically, he's been effective, efficient, and progressively improved. The biggest thing I see is his confidence level is soaring as he grasps the offense. In my opinion, confidence is the #1 element a pro athlete must possess in order to succeed. While trying not to overuse Saquon, the Eagles have finally come to realize that the run game with him and solid offensive line play can be the catalyst for the offense to realize its true potential. When they commit to the run game, good things happen. I'm excited to see Jalen under center more, play action passing become a staple in the passing attack, and the wide receivers bucking their tendency to run mostly deep routes by sitting down in the holes versus zone, running comeback routes on the outside, and utilizing the middle of the field. I know the Birds' philosophy is to attack downfield, looking for the explosive play. But if they stick to this mindset that has the offense trending upwards, those plays will come. The key is not to force things and take what the defense is giving you. As Hurts' confidence in the offense grows, there will be games where the passing attack will take center stage and Devontae and A.J. Brown will have big days. But for now, baby steps. Defensively, I believe that they are finally grasping Vic Fangio's concepts. They're playing with great aggression and efficiency. Bond and Dean look much more decisive versus the run and the pass. The secondary looks more aggressive, playing up and challenging wide receivers all over the field. And I've been saying they have to play more aggressively in order to force turnovers, a statistical category that they've lagged in. But with the sack numbers rising, 2 turnovers last week, I think they'll start to force them with more regularity. I'm even more impressed with the young cornerbacks and with the depth of Rodgers, Ringos, and Ricks. When called upon, they've stepped up to the challenge. The biggest thing I need to see is consistency. Jalen Carter has to be dominant every week. Nolan Smith has to keep improving and stepping up to expectations laid upon him. I'm smart enough to know that it's hard to get up and be at your very best every single week. There will always be great weeks, average weeks, and an occasional off week. But in order for this unit to realize its full potential, these young players have to learn how to show up with their best each and every week. The more Fangio can trust them, the more aggressive, in my opinion, he will become in his play calling. Doug Peterson, his struggling quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars visit the Link on Sunday afternoon. The rumor mill is swirling all around Peterson as the expectations for this team are not being met, with his team at 2-6. 4 of their 6 losses have been by an average of 3.5 points or less. Lawrence can throw the ball. There's no doubt about that. They have some good young talent around him. But the problem is things have just gone wrong more times than they've gone right. After last week's domination of the Bengals, the sentiment will be that the Eagles should just destroy the Jaguars. But there's a reason they play the games. And this is not an opponent that the Eagles should take lightly. Losing teams oftentimes come out fighting, but it also takes just one bit of adversity to push them down the road to defeat. I believe the Birds come out motivated to parlay last week's efforts. This is a team they should handle, and I'm picking the Eagles to win this game 32-17. That's the show for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week as we recap the Jags game and look who's on the horizon. It's Dallas week. Let's go. Good night, Philly faithful, and go Birds.